What is up, YouTube and all my fish keeping friends? How's everybody doing out there in Fish Tank Land? It is Sunday afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you guys can see me. Well, cars outside with music. Hope you guys can see and hear me well. Let me know if everything is going good on your side. OBS and YouTube just change everything every week. I feel like I need to stream all the time if I can keep up with what's going on and all the changes. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Father Fish, good to see you in here. Kind of a new guy to the community, not a new guy to the fish keeping hobby by any means. So there's a bunch of people up in here right off the bat, super early. Fish Room Fever was up in here first. Pam was up in here second. Daryl Deemer, how are you? Jason from Fish Tropic. Dan Slee. Zinginger. Chewy. William Jansen, how are you, good man? It's good to see you in here. Jeremy Morel, what is up, man? Yeah, so I've had an interesting but rough couple of days. My neck, I got a crick in my neck from falling asleep the wrong way after staying up all night on the microscope, in front of the microscope, looking through the binocular of the microscope. I had to do a little bit of a necroscopy. One of my original wild-caught nano blue tetras passed away, which it seemed normal. It just seemed like old age, but it was an opportunity to do a necroscopy and take a look at those fish a little bit closer, so I did. I filmed a lot of it, but I have to say, I gave myself an eye headache from staring through the binoculars for so long. And still today, I woke up this morning, still have a headache. Like, I should be wearing glasses anyways. And I think if anybody stares through a microscope long enough, you're going to give yourself a little bit of a headache. Anyways, so all that good stuff, complaining about that. So yeah, I took a nap right before the stream, set an alarm, and so I've got my coffee over here, freshly brewed, and I have some generic Oreo cookies over here. I never eat. I always give people stuff for in my head anyways for eating while they're streaming, because you're supposed to be talking. You're supposed to have your mouth open and available. But I still put this little snack in front of me because I'm hungry and I took a nap and I needed some sugar, something in my stomach, wake myself up. Anyways, good to see all of y'all hanging out with me. You can see from the title of the stream and all that good stuff that I was kind of bringing up the subject of whether or not are we fish keepers or are we citizen scientists. And it was just something that I've been thinking about over the last couple of days. These streams usually just come from stuff going on in my life, honestly. Working with these blue tetras, bringing them back from Peru, just, bringing them back because I thought they were beautiful, knew they were on the red list, just thought that I would, have some fun with this. I definitely knew that if I'm going to bring something out of the wild, I'm definitely going to try to get it to breed for me. So I brought them back, and then I come to realize that there's no information on these fish. There's only a few people in history that have written about these fish. So I realized that I have something here to kind of contribute to science, but honestly, literally, the stuff that I've been able to observe from these fish is stuff that has not been recorded yet. It's new data, it's new information for science. So it's just really interesting how a lot of us get into this hobby with just a love for life science and life biology and just having, working with animals and stuff like that. And it grows and it turns into something else, really. Anyways, I just think it's really interesting, and at this point now, I'm trying to write papers and on a fish. I never planned on really doing that, but not that I would not enjoy doing it. So I went looking for the people. So originally, this fish was documented in 2015 by Weissman and Ortega. So that's Stanley Weissman, Professor Stanley Weissman. Which most of you probably know who that is, or probably have a fish that was named by him. And then so he was one of the first people originally to write about this fish. I believe his findings were not where I found the fish in Madre de Dios River Basin, but in Colombia and the Orinoco. And so there's him. So there was Stanley Weissman, and then Herman Ortega, and then later on, you had some other writings done by Dr. Donald Taphorn. So I went looking for these people. Stanley Weissman, I unfortunately passed away in 2017. So I just missed the opportunity of trying to pick his brain. But unfortunately, he has passed away. But he has contributed so much to science, and it's just really interesting. Like you get to a point with a fish when you're like, wait a minute, there's like only four other people, three or four other people that have ever like done anything with this fish. But I think the fish keeping world, it happens really quickly. If you get into it, you realize how small it really is, and how little people are really making contributions to it. But in the end, that's really kind of what the stream is about, because I feel like we are all kind of making contributions to science in many different ways. A lot of us, because okay, say for instance, some of us out there, some of you out there that might have like lemia or something, some different species of fish that is on the red list, that is is protected, or has some level of being, it's threatened at some certain level or something like that. And you're making a contribution to science by like getting this fish to breed and reproducing more of it and spreading it throughout the hobby. For one, this fish doesn't have to be collected from the wild anymore, and we're also preserving the genetics of this fish. And then in other ways, like just by the fact of some of us that out there are making content, like I try to do, some educational and entertaining content about fish keeping and about life science. I feel like if nothing else, we are um, making a contribution to science, because we probably, and we might just inspire some young person to get into this world of fish keeping and get find their passion and their love for life science that might make them become a professor, the next professor, writing papers on other species that still have not been found yet, or not been described and named by science anyways. Um, but I feel like we all have a contribution to make, and we can. You see it even with the saltwater fish keepers out there. I'm totally ignoring the chat for a minute, but I really appreciate everybody throwing out the links and everything like that for me, and everything like that. No, I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. But I just want to get the main part of my subject out today. It's kind of like how I like to do it, and then I'm going to focus in on the chat. I really just want to hang out with you guys today. But this is really just on my mind, because we can get down to the story here, honestly, if I can ramble forever. But well, no. First, I wanted to say again about it's like saltwater, the saltwater world. You've got a lot of saltwater fish keepers out there nowadays that are actually getting involved in science. They're taking their skills of fragging, that was once just a hobby in their bedroom, to now they're actually working with other groups and scuba diving and going out into the ocean, the Great Barrier Reef, and replanting and farming coral. And so you can see this full circle, or you've taken hobbyists that just started out with one or two saltwater tanks in their bedroom, and now they're actually making true contribution to science and conservation and stuff like that. I just think it's really, really cool. So in the end here, I actually finally got a hold of Donald Taphorn. He is still working. He is retired now, but he's still working in ichthyology. But he's a professor of ichthyology. He's written hundreds of papers, well over 100 papers on different species and taxonomy. And it's really awesome to actually get to speak with him. Not speak with him on the phone. We did message, but a long run of messages this morning, and he helped me with some advice in regards to writing a manuscript and some papers, like technical papers on the Titocharax typopatensis, which is the nano blue tetra. So it's just really awesome to actually get a professor of ichthyology on the phone and actually get to, talk with them about something that not very many people want to talk to me about in detail when it comes to this species in particular, whereas he's actually been in Colombia, been in the streams off of the Orinoco, and collected this species and written papers about this species. So it's really cool to actually have. It was an honor to me to have the opportunity to speak with him. I invited him to come hang out in the stream here and check it out. I don't know if he is a YouTuber or has a handle or anything like that, but he might be watching now. But it's just really nice to be able to finally get someone on the phone, or get in communication with someone who is actually working or has worked with this species before, mostly just taxonomy. So really, I'm finding myself to be like one of the first people with this species that's actually getting into the biology, the courting behaviors, the egg-laying behaviors, and the spawning techniques, or the breeding techniques, the fertilization techniques of these fish. which gets really interesting. And I have a video coming out tomorrow, unfortunately, regarding the necroscopy that I had to do last night. And it's just really interesting stuff about this fish that's special. One of them being that it's an inseminating fish, just like some of the other catfish and some other tetras as well, that actually internally inseminate the female with like a sperm sac packets. They're actually packets of sperms of gametes. So these packets have like thousands of gametes or sperm cells on in one packet. So technically, they just need to really get one of those inside of the female to inseminate her and to get things going. So it's just really interesting how the whole thing works. They also have these crazy barbs that are on the anal fins of the male, which I'd love to be able to prove what they're there for. I have my hypothesis. I believe that the barbs are there so that the anal fins, the male can flip upside down, or spin to a side or upside down, and he can kind of grab on to the female with his anal fins and literally latch on to her just long enough to inseminate her. So that's my theory, but I need to prove that, right? Anyway, so that's where we're at with that. That's me going from fish keeping to citizen scientist overnight with one species. Anyways, so that was fun. But I feel like a lot of us, I bet you there's people out here. How many people, this is an example, how many people in the chat right now have a red listed fish or a CARES fish? Because as far as I'm concerned, right there, you're already, you're someone that could be considered somewhat of a citizen scientist. You're actually taking another step beyond just keeping a community tank for your personal pleasure and entertainment. You're actually taking it to another step, and you're actually taking a step to actually help help preserve genetics and things like that. And I think it's just really awesome that we can take that next step and take our passion for fish keeping and actually make a difference. Cool stuff. So there's so many awesome people up in here. Amber, it's good to see Amber up in here. How are you, dear? We have Melvin. What's up? Jesse from HC Aqua. I saw some new videos from Kayakima Backyard. This is to Jesse, anyways. He's working his line of yellow micro riff, his straight 100% yellow micro riff again. And I told him that I knew you, and I got to get a hold of some of those guppies. I don't know why. I want his guppies and the guppies that his friend has been working with, just because he's one of the people on YouTube that really inspired me. It was Kayamuki Backyard, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Jesse, you can throw that out there. You are a mod. But Kayamuki Backyard, it's his name of his channel, and he lives in Hawaii, and he breeds guppies in his backyard in 55-gallon drums. And I've been watching his videos for years, and totally inspired by him, just with his education, his videos that he's put out just in genetics and explaining genotypes and phenotypes and things like that, and it's really cool. So I just want his fish because it's him. I know I could get yellow micro riffs from anybody. Let's see, and I know he sells them to the fish stores locally. So if I live there, I could just go to the local fish store and get his fish. Anyways, enough on that tangent. Q Aquatics, how are you? Good to see you up in here. Water Wizard, how are you? Let's see, who's up in here? Yeah, see Susie Q. She's got Fry for CARES list fish. There you go. There's a lot of us I know that are breeding different things. You've got the Lemia. You have the right now. I'm gonna pretend like I know I got all these different species of CARES and red listed fish in my head, but I know there's a lot of different stuff out there, and there's a lot of things that are on the CARES list or on the red list, and people be like, oh, it's on the red list. Like even these blue tetras, they're on the red list, but they're what's listed as an LC, which means least concern, which is they're at the bottom of the list. But I wouldn't take that lightly, because most of those reports where it says, it's listed as a least concern, if you look at the reports, when was the last time that anybody did a report or a listing or did anything on that species? You'll see that it was like 2003 or 2004, maybe 2007. So a lot has happened in that time. So it's like, yes, these fish might have been least concern in 2004 or 2007, but where are they at now, right? So that needs to be taken into consideration as well when we're looking at some of these species that are just listed as least concern at this point. Or, like I said, that's old news already. What we're looking at on those in those reports. What happened? Who hasn't popped up? We missing Candy today. I didn't see Candy Overhauls up in here today. She's been busy. I haven't seen her in a couple of the chats today. Let's see. Joseph hasn't realized it yet. What haven't I realized it yet? Okay. I'm gonna sit here and eat a cookie and read the chat. You guys are killing me. What haven't I seen? Joseph hasn't realized it yet. We got the neon sunset microwave. See, what I had was I have the sunset microwave. May or may not neon, but I took those and I bred them with black bar Endler, and came up with this crazy leucistic like hybrid, like Endler guppy hybrid that I'm playing with, and it's got the snakeskin pattern on the side, so leucistic like snakeskin. So that's pretty interesting. Blue is in the chat. What's Blue's channel name? How are you, Blue? Blue is awesome. Lady we met and when we were in San Francisco, we were hanging out with Jeremy. Met Jeremy and Luke and Blue all at the San Francisco Bay Aquarium Society meeting that evening after Amber's talk, and we arranged to do a little bit of a fish store tour with some locals, and it was really awesome. We had a couple of good days together, and we got to see some awesome fish stores. We did some museum. We did Thai food. And this is a good time. It was really nice to get off of this rock and to be hanging out with just hanging out with fish nerds, you know? Just hanging out with fish nerds. Anyways, I don't know where Candy is up in here, but I wanted to throw out her links. I had them all sitting over here on the side, and I was trying to post them out. I'm so bad at, it's one thing to go live and to stream, and anybody else that does this, that create a channel to, I don't know why I won't. Daryl Deemer, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Well, let me go in here and I can post it in here. But I have Candy Overhaul's GoFundMe link right there that I wanted to post that out, and the other one was for Pamela. I wanted to post that out as well. Where are we at? I'm just when you're streaming, it's one thing, and then to sit there and try to continue a stream and try to just keep on talking and also throw out all the links and read everything at the same time. I hate it when people eat and stream. You know what? Yep. And the only link that I want to throw out for myself that's a little bit of a commercial thing, and then I want to show my blue Tetra Fry. But my only real commercial right now, because I'm trying to keep my Amazon affiliate account running. In order for my Amazon affiliate account running, people have to actually utilize my links. I mean, hitting links actually helps, but it does make a difference. By having an Amazon affiliate account, pretty much, if you're going to go spend money on Amazon, you're going to do anything already. You're going to go buy a Fluval FX6 or, a Fluval. I'm just another shout out for Fluval, right? The 3.0 Lite. You can spend some money anyways. If you go through one of my links first, you don't even have to buy something that I'm advertising or whatever. If you go through my link, one of my affiliate links, it gives you it gives me a little bit of a kickback. So if you're going to spend that money anyways, it's nothing out of your pocket. It's a kickback from Amazon. But I figured something I wanted to try to do without totally make a complete commercial out of it. See if I can get back to OBS and I can show you guys this real quick. I just wanted to put a link out. Just wanted to show you one thing that, let's see if I can do it this way and it'll be better. So I want to just highlight. My idea was just to highlight one item that I've actually used before that I do approve of, and I think is like almost a must-have thing if you're going hardcore with fish keeping. Is an ink bird, which is it's just a brand to go with. They're on Amazon. I have a link for it here, and you don't have to use this link. This is just to throw out an Amazon link for you. Like I was saying, this Amazon link works for anything. If you were gonna go buy $100 worth of baby brine shrimp eggs or something, if you go through this link, I get a little kickback for that. So let me see if I can. Ugh, I can't seem to get this. I'm juggling pages here because my chat is in a totally different place. Let me throw out this link right here. This is an Amazon affiliate link, but for this product. So anyways, I just want to show you something. I figured this would be my best way of kind of doing this if I was going to continue to do this, is to just show something awesome that I've actually used before twice. I've gone through two of these and just trashed them. But this to me is perfect specifically for working with your heaters, right? Because I don't have to worry about heaters so much here. I have worried about heaters before, or I've actually had to do things to chill. I've had it hooked up to an air conditioning unit before because it's rated for, I don't know how many amps it's rated for, but if you're like doing the whole room, it can work as well. You can use one tank at the highest point in the room and use that to measure your temperature for the whole room. But the thermometer, the thermostats, anyways, sorry, the thermostats within heating elements like, heaters for tanks, they're not very. You could easily cook your fish sometimes if they malfunction, and they malfunction in the on position. So I recommend always going through a secondary thermometer, and I've used different brands. I've used the Zoom Med as well. I've cooked one of those. I've gone through one of those as well. But this is kind of the one that everybody talks about, and this one does work very well. It's a nice standard deal. And then the sensor, you see how it plugs in there. You can always replace that sensor if the sensor itself does go out. So that's my commercial for the day. Anyways, so we'll just skip straight to my blue Tetra Fry. I got this one female that's been hanging out close to the top. I was staring at her, watching her, because I thought that she was picking off fry, and I can't tell. You see her, she just swam by, but I think she's just trying to get to some of the food, and she's not trying to actually pick off fry. I haven't technically seen her take out a fry, but it's a female, and it's the only one doing that. So I'm gonna go put a tiny little dusting of Hikari first bites on the surface of the water here real quick. All right, there we go. You see that my floors are hollow. It's a steel building, but it's still kind of, if I move around, you can see the surface of the water in this tank kind of move. Like that's me stomping if I stomp my foot on the floor. So I tiptoe around my house. I don't stomp around I don't walk with my heels around my house because my fish will hear that and feel that. Every step I make, they know about it. I mean, you can see the surface of that water shake when I just barely stomp my foot on the floor. So I'm very conscious of my fish. They own me in a way. I'm their caretaker, I'm their keeper, but they kind of own me because I keep my house, unless I'm streaming like this, normally my lights would not come on until 5 o'clock, which is fine now because my stream, it's after 6 o'clock my time here because we don't do daylight savings time, so it's about 6:15, 6:20 or whatever my time. So after this, I'm going to go cook dinner right away. So let's see. What was I getting at? Oh, my lights are out until like 5 o'clock, so I keep my house pretty dark, like a cave during the day for most of my day. And I'm usually at work anyway, so it works out perfect. I get off of work at 6 o'clock, come home, the lights have been on for about 45 minutes, an hour, and I feed everybody. So, but what I'm saying, I guess, is I tiptoe around my fish during the day as well with the light. I try to, refrain from turning on lights, just let them have their time. Because things like these fry, it actually does affect them. The fry go down to the bottom of the tank at night, and they hang out. I don't know if they eat infusoria at the bottom of the tank, but they go to the bottom of the tank where I guess they feel safer when it's dark. And when the lights come on, any kind of lighting starts to come on in the house, they start to go to the surface of the tank. And I just like, I don't like to disturb their cycle. If you know they're that sensitive to the light and it's gonna affect what they're doing, I prefer to just try to keep it as dark as possible. But with this tank in particular, when the lights come on, if I'm there when the lights come on, it's like it's raining upside down. It's raining fry upside down because they all start at the bottom and you see all these fry, like hundreds. There is probably about 300 fry in this tank. And they just start to all rise from the bottom of the tank slowly up to the surface. And what I like to do so that the adults have no reason to predate on them is I like to get food in there as soon as possible. I start with some microworms and I get a dusting of hikari at the surface. I try to keep a little bit of hikari at the surface all the time, just so that they can graze constantly. You can see that their bellies are pretty full. They're pretty happy. Aquafunk, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Happy birthday, Q. Happy birthday, Sue. Let's see here. What's going on up in the chat? Oh, we was talking about how there's Aquafunk is asking what we're talking about. I was talking about kind of how very easily we start out as hobbyists and just fish keepers, and we become citizen scientists in different ways, working with different species, which are, you know, threatened or endangered or protected species. And it's just interesting how we actually do have a contribution to make to science in different ways. Like I said, at the very least, our content could be inspiring the next generation of scientists, of biologists. And, you know, might be some 13 or 14-year-old kid that watches our channel that grows up to go, you know, become a professor of theology and so on and so on. And I really do believe that we have those opportunities, and we not necessarily have a responsibility, but we have the opportunity to do these things. Anyways, you see that one female? I can't tell. She goes to the surface. I could tell that she hits the surface, stirs up the water. I think she's just going for the hikari. And if anything, she's trying to be gentle and not bother the fry. I can't tell. Sometimes I think she's chasing fry. I don't know. But this is why I sit in front of these tanks for hours, because I'm like sitting and taking notes in the dark. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to try to make the chat really big here. And I'm literally going to make the chat half my page. And I don't know what time it is. It's 6:30 now. For the next half an hour, I'm just checking out the chat. We're going to get the fry in the background. Just going to keep an eye on the chat. Make sure I have all live chat on. Catch everybody's stuff here. Oh, I am Gee Snap. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, happy birthday, Susie. Wasn't it Susie's birthday 2 weeks ago? So wait a minute. So Blue. So what's Blue's channel name in here? I didn't get that. That's the problem. And Amber disappeared. She might be lurking. She's around here somewhere. She's probably lurking while she's doing water changes. She should be feeding my stack endlers. I gotta get up on Patreon. I like I said, I'm trying to figure out a way to upload videos or make videos some other way. I do not want to make YouTube videos and have a bunch of unlisted YouTube videos on my channel just for Patreon. There's got to be a different way to do it. I don't know how that works, but I'm afraid that my analytics could become skewed with all these videos that are unlisted. I don't know how YouTube handles that part of it when it comes to your analytics. Either way, I pretty much nailed myself pretty hard. I don't know how to pronounce that, Jeremy. I don't know how to pronounce that. She is not saying much, but she's listening. She's needs a he. She needs a he. She's needs sahi. She's needs sahi. Anyways, yeah, I should just stop. I'm a butthead. I'm a butthead. As long as you feed my antlers, we're good. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I could sit and stare at these fish all day. I do. I actually do. I have moments. It's really hard because they're in the middle of my. I live in the middle of this fish, so I mean, I could just be trying to walk to the bathroom, or I'm gonna go to the kitchen. I'm gonna go cook dinner, and then I stop, turn to my right, bam. 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later. Oh, gotta make dinner. Gotta make dinner. I'll be on this tank. And I think it's because of that. It's the only reason that I've seen half of the things that I've seen with these fish. I just wish I could get some of that on film for science or for YouTube as well. But I've actually seen the female laying her fry on the other side of the duckweed twice now. And I've also, and the third time, that's what 3 times I've seen a female lay eggs. The third time was on the glass, and I was on the phone with Amber when it happened. And while I was on the phone with her, I had my hand, I was, usually when I talk to her, I'm talking to her on my headphones. So my hands are free to do water changes and deal with fish and stuff while we talk on the phone. And I ran and I got an eyedropper. I collected 3 eggs off of the glass and got them into a petri dish with water, put it under the microscope, and that was the video. Somebody might be able to throw a link out to that if you want to, but the video I did not too long ago on the hatching, it's probably like my last video, right? The hatching of Nano Blue Tetra eggs, which that was really cool to actually get to watch the whole process and to learn it for science, because there's no record of how long it takes for a Nano Blue Tetra egg to mature and hatch, but I have it now. I'll probably do it again as well, just so that I can get a better timeline of everything and get the whole thing, get video, because I had to go to sleep for 8 hours and then go to work for another 8 hours. So I missed 16 hours of the 26 hours it takes for the egg to develop and hatch. So there's still more to be done on that. And then the necroscopy last night is a nice thing to add to my manuscript or a paper if I were to write something. But it's cool stuff. It's a cool fish. I look forward to sharing more of that with you. I don't want to give it all away, but if I can get myself together, I got some editing to do tonight, and I have to get this video out for you guys tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, Blue bought a bunch of plants. She also got some of those leaf killies from the auction. Yeah. I'll never forget Blue speaking up in the middle of the San Francisco, the aquarium meeting. And she was like, look, guys, she was so calm and collective with a napkin full of chips. She walks up to the front of the meeting and she's like, everybody, just chill. Everything's cool. We're all here for the same reason. Let's all just get along. And I was just like, she's awesome. She is awesome. I was like, she must be an ex-president of this club or something, right? And I was like, no, I'm not even a member. Oh boy, it's good stuff. Good people. I'm glad that I have had the opportunity to hang out with y'all, and I feel like I made some really good friends within the hobby and within the community. Just friends, period. Let's see here. Don't even mention the auction, right? I got a lot of plants from that. Thank you, Amber. I literally still have a dried up fish on the microscope right now. I took a look at it. It definitely looks a lot different dried up. Not much I can get out of it now that it's dried up, but I literally was on the microscope last night until it gave me a headache, and I just had to go to sleep, and I just left everything sitting. I woke up in this morning, and I had like the whole lab space set up over here, and I was like, oh, yeah. The fish is all dried up on the slide now. But I did get to show off in a video that hopefully I will get edited tonight. I'm going to cram hard. I want to show the characteristics, because it turns out that it is a male, the one that passed away that I did the necroscopy of last night. So I'll be able to show you the defining things between the male and the female of this species. Majority of the differences are on the male. So it's really cool that I did. Not, it's not cool, but it's nice that it was a male that passed away, because I'll be able, I could uh, observe it for myself, but I'll also be able to show those characteristics to you guys as well. And like in this video tomorrow, if I stay up all night and edit it. Hmm. Okay. Let's see what's going on up in the chat as I eat my cookies and drink my coffee. William Jensen, thank you for throwing out the links there for the GoFundMe for Pam. And my PayPal is always nice. I love super chats. I totally appreciate them. Thank you, Dale Dimmer, for the $10 super chat. Super chats are awesome, but it's interesting how much YouTube likes to take. 30% is pretty insane. I never thought I would throw out my PayPal account, but it does make sense. Like, I don't, like, if someone wanted to give me $10, I would want them to be able to give me $10, not give me $7 and have YouTube take the rest. Like, I feel like someone's trying to support me. Why should YouTube take that much money of that? Because this is like, it's like a non-for-profit kind of thing at this point. It doesn't make sense that that's not really helping, and it's helping YouTube. I think they get enough money off of advertising already. But anyways, so like I said, I never thought I'd want to throw out my PayPal, but it just makes sense to me. It just makes so much more sense for everybody. I think YouTube gets enough money, and they don't do enough for me at this point. As far as I'm concerned, they're probably listening. It's not going to help my situation, right? The algorithm is listening. Anyways, yeah, I'm like blacklisted on YouTube at this point. There's something about my numbers. Either my content is just horrible, or just YouTube is not on my side right now. I've accepted that, and I just continue to do what I do because I love it. That female is chasing Fry around. She's totally chasing Fry around. I wonder if she's actually trying to, she's actually eating some of them. I'm more worried about it right now because I'm out of baby brine shrimp. Amber sent me some baby brine shrimp in the mail. That's what I get for living in the Caribbean. Somehow it's missing, it's lost. It's not here yet. And it's my fault that I waited so long for baby brine shrimp, and then she tried to make it faster by sending me some, so I didn't order any off of Amazon. They weren't going to be here for a while. Actually, they probably would have been here by now. So now I'm out of baby brine shrimp, which is a really, really important food when you've got a tank with this many fry and you still have 4 adults in here that can fit these fry in their mouth. They typically do. They are colony breeding to a certain point, but I do feel that at a certain point, if they're not fed and they're hungry, they're going to pick off fry to stay alive. I mean, that's most fish would do that. So just keep everybody fat and happy, and then they don't eat the fry. And then you have a tank full of all kinds of fish. A lot of mulm, and you also get some other animals in there too, some worms. Microworms, I do microworms as well. Microworms are really nice, but they're just part of the diet. I do microworms, live baby brine shrimp, and Hikari first bites. And those 3 things, that makes up the diet for the adults and the fry in this fish. That's all I ever feed them. Anything else is too big for them. I feed the adults Hikari first bites. I mean, that's what one of the first meals that I gave them when they came in from Peru. That's what I was feeding them until I got some live baby brine shrimp going on. What I really need is this, like, Amber has one. It's like an 8-liter live baby brine shrimp cone, and I don't know where to find one. She probably knows where to get one, but I'm looking online. They've got the green stand one that's like the 2-liter. That would maybe work for me right now. But I just know that, like, at a point I'm gonna go up higher, so that little cone is just gonna be too small soon enough. I really like to just get another one of the big, like, 7.5, 8-liter cones that Amber has, and then when I get up there with her, then we'll have 2 cones, and we can kind of go, one cone can get set up and running, and the other one's being used, and we can rotate between those 2 cones. and keep them going. That's kind of the end goal. So I really need to get one of those larger cones. I just don't even know who sells it. Once again, I could probably just Amber. Probably she's got one. She probably knows where I can get one. But that's like one of my biggest things when I think about breeding fish and working with fish. Um, baby brine shrimp is like epic for a many species when it comes to breeding fry, rearing up fry. And I've gotten to that point where like that's my biggest hurdle right now has been trying to make baby brine shrimp. I have those little black plastic trays that are made by Hobby Brand, I believe it's called, Hobby House, Hobby Brand, something, right? And they're German made. But they're good, but I gotta reset them every day, every other day, and they only give me a little bit of baby brine shrimp, and there's like 5 pieces that you gotta clean, and you want to kind of clean them reasonably so you don't just infect the next batch that you're making. Anyways, they are pain in the butt. I love them. If you've got one tank that you're feeding live baby brine shrimp to, those little black plastic trays are perfect. They have a place. I probably keep them around for emergencies, but I'm at a point now where, okay, the GCCA, okay, you have 2, and I bought them. Well, Amber, you need to send me one now, don't you? In front of everybody. Amber, you should probably send me that, huh? I mean, I will be bringing it. I'll be sending it back to you with me. I'll show up at your doorstep with the cone in hand in about 6 to 8 months. It seems like my biggest hurdle here is waiting for the north to thaw. At this point, I don't really care. The weather has nothing to do with this. No weather's going to stop me from being where I want to be. So the weather's the last thing that's going to stop me from being where I want to be. So I don't care if it's ice and sleet and snow. I need to be up there with Miss Amber. Yeah, you should probably send me that cone, Amber, so I can keep these tetras alive. Anyway, so we have Aquafunk coming up next at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Q Aquatics at 7. And then it looks like... Wait, no, Aquafunk switched it around. Who's at 7 now? Nobody's at... Who's at 6? Nobody's at 6 now. Aquafunk is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time now. Is that correct, Aquafunk? I believe you're at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You took King and Queen Cichlids' spot. What is up, Scott? How are you? Welcome to the stream. I'm eating on camera for the first time ever. These are breaking rules. These are new beginnings. Oh. And for all of you that are in here right now, and for my girlfriend that probably is going to freak out, I shaved my head. I shaved my head, folks. I shaved my head. It feels so good, though. It feels so good. I have never shaved my head in my whole life. And I'll tell you what, I didn't really shave it. I didn't shave it. I buzzed it. And I'll let the top grow out and keep the sides nice and faded in, Get something going on. I had to get rid of the mohawk. I was starting to feel like a troll doll. It was becoming a little much. But yeah, it's really hot here all the time. So it's so nice. I've never experienced. I've had long hair. I had the whole beach bum hippie thing going on for so many years in my 20s. Long hair down to here for like 15 years. So it's really nice to shave your head when you go outside and it's hot and then like the wind blows across that naked scalp. It's nice. It is very refreshing. It definitely helps cool you off. At this point, I only wear a hat to keep from burning the top of my head, but it's really nice to lighten up the load up there on the top of my head. It's a nice change, a nice cleansing too. I'm kind of doing a little bit of a regrouping, a cleansing here. This hobby and YouTube has totally changed my life. Meeting Amber has totally changed my life. And I'm 40 years old, so at this point, there's just so many things. Like, I'm doing a complete inventory of everything that I own in my house and just making real serious life decisions. Big stuff. Not stressful and not trying to be too deep, but just a lot going on. And yeah, I think the mohawk and then shaving my head is all part of just going through this going through a process, and you guys all get to be part of it, whether you like it or not. Or you don't have to be here. Anyways, let's see. Isn't that what it always looks like? Right? Well, it's nice though. It's nice to have my head breathe a little bit. And I don't know. I don't know. I forget about how many scars I have on my head. It kind of probably explains some of the things about me that are not quite normal. When you look at all the scars and all the head traumas that I've had, there's a whole history. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh, that's right. And then, oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, stitches there. Oh, jeez. That's what's wrong with me. Oh. Mm. Mm. Anyways, my neck is still a little bit messed up. I tried to actually exercise to work that all out today. Trying to, like, when I get a crick or something in my neck or something in my back, I honestly try to do everything I can to stretch it out and work it out, not just let it sit there and tighten up. Try to break it down a little bit. Carrie from Science Gal Aquatics. I don't know if I said hi to you already. 09 Porcupine. What's up, Joey? How are you? I got someone from St. John up in the house. Deanna's not up in here. She's on vacation right now. That's why she's not up in here. But I got to catch up with her when she gets back. We need to go out and do lunch. We still haven't done, I wanted to do a lunch. She doesn't want me to spend any money, but I really want to take her out to lunch. Anyways, let's see here. It's cool to have King and Queen Cichlids. It's good to have you up in here, Scott. Liz, it's nice to have you. Your new time is interesting. I kind of liked your time before. I'll get used to it. It was a good time for me because I can actually enjoy your stream, because for my timing, you're actually like 9 o'clock my time. So I've had my dinner. I've even done like majority of my water changes and stuff like that, so I can actually hang out and be part of your stream. There's one stream, Joel, and for a long time, Joel and Corey would do their streams, which I think was like 2 or 3 o'clock their time. But for me, I was like in the middle of cooking and making and eating my dinner, even alone. Like that's when I would cook my dinner, and it was like hard. I couldn't sit down and really be part of the chat and part of the stream and do that at the same time. Anyways, that's probably where I'm at for a lot of people. People are probably working on dinner right now, doing something like that while I'm trying to watch me while they cook dinner for their family. All right, is she going at? What do you guys think? Is she going after Fry? Are you guys watching this? I can't tell. I think she's just going for the Hikari. You guys can see the dusting of Hikari, and to be honest, that does not look like a female. Yeah, that's a female. That's a fully grown female. The males are rounder, more of an oval shape. The females have a little bit more of a longer tapered tail. The males are actually longer still, but they just don't look longer because they're rounder. So yeah, the males are the larger of the two. It's just really interesting that the males have these barbs on their anal fins. And why else? I mean, I'm not getting dirty here. I'm not getting weird. This is life science. This is nature. But why else would an animal have barbs at its sexual reproduction organs if they were not to hold on to their mate in the process? I mean, it's like some crazy alien stuff, but we know that's why those barbs are there. Why they're not self-defense. They don't put barbs. That's not where you would put barbs if it was for self-defense. As I go down here. Oh boy. Yeah, I think it's I'm sure that's what's going on, and but there's such a nano fish. It's like you would have to have some insane camera, like a $100,000 camera and a properly set up tank, in luck, to actually catch the male and female doing their thing, and to actually on some high speed camera get a couple of frames of the male with his fins kind of like stuck to the sides of the female's area. I mean, it's probably a millisecond, but that's all it takes for one or two of those what they actually call I can't even pronounce the word. It's a spermatozygomite. It's a super sperm packet. So it has like thousands and thousands of individual gametes all on one kind of cluster, and the female is inseminated with literally all. At that point, if there's thousands of gametes in one cluster, all he needs to do is get one or two of those inside of her, and they're good. So that's what the barbs are for. I have to say that's a little rough, but probably seen some rougher things in nature than that. But now, as a citizen scientist, it's my job to try to prove that somehow. How am I going to prove that? I don't think I need. I mean, in my head, I don't have to prove it. I believe it. It's just my personal theory. Uh, science wants proof. But interesting stuff, though. It's really cool. I remember hearing about these fish when I was. Well, this was like 2 years ago, when Corey was doing the Real Fish Talk, and he had Dean on, and he had it was Dean and somebody else. I think at that time it was Dean and Bob Steenfott, and they're talking about the trip to Peru. This is before the aquatic experience, and they were talking about the trip to Peru. And Dean was talking about how he had talked to Michael Barber about how there was this really pretty nano species of tetra that lived up in the high elevation cold water streams, and how it was really pretty. And I remember them talking about this fish, and I was like, ooh, that sounds cool. That kind of sounds like up my cold water mountain tetra. That's interesting. And I just remembered that. And then I remember going to the aquatic experience. I remember interviewing Dwayne Kitchell. And if you guys see the interview that I have somewhere on my channel of me interviewing Dwayne Kitchell at the aquatic experience, he had mentioned that he was going to go on this trip with Dean and Corey. And I was like, oh, I remember in that interview, I was like, oh, I would love to go on something like that. That would be really awesome if I could tag along on that trip. And then I remember, hearing about, then I finally I go on this trip. I made it. I did what I had to do financially on my end. I got a second job painting houses, and I got myself on that trip. I ended up being there. And, a year before, I never thought that. I never thought that I'd be here right now with these fish after all that. It's just interesting how it all happened. And I have to say that this fish specifically, because of the way that I received it and the things about it and the processes that I've been through it, it's definitely like totally inspired me. And I feel like sometimes in life, it's little things like that is all it takes that with some people really kind of spark an interest and spark something. And that's just a really good example of how we can make a difference in the hobby and in science, and actually be citizen scientists. Because, well, I don't know. We can literally, like I was saying before, we could spark some interest in somebody, some young person, or maybe some older person, someone, an adult. Spark someone's interest in the hobby or in fish keeping that, might result in them becoming a professor of ichthyology or a biologist or working for a zoo or doing animal education or just sitting in their basement and breeding some endangered protected species for science and for conservation. Like there's so many ways that it's just interesting how something very small can really spark someone's interest and can totally drive an insane amount of passion towards something beautiful and actually positive. The Titocharax, what do we have here? William Jensen's got the name. It's let me get the spelling. Well, it won't let me do in this chat. It's so weird. It makes me want to log into my own chat in OBS, and I'm not gonna risk messing something up, so I gotta go to the other place. It's the Titocharax. Titocharax. It's the Tambopatensis, which technically it's the Titocharax, which means tiny tetra, the little nano tetra. Let me get the spelling right on that. Titocharax tambopatensis. So the Tambopatensis is referring to its being found in the Tambopata River. The Tambopata River is a river that's part of the Madre de Dios River basin in southern Peru. So that's where it had got in its name, was the Tambopata River, so the Tambopatensis. Ginger Graves, happy holidays to you too. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's really awesome to have 50 plus people hanging out in the chat as well. Super awesome. It's really nice to have everybody chilling with me on a Sunday afternoon. Dee from Down the Wormhole was talking about how this is like her fish club, and she knows it like me, and like even Caleb living up in the mountain, living up where he lives. This is my fish club. You guys are, this is my community that I get. I'm really happy to have it. It's not like it's what I get. It's awesome. It's a beautiful. We're like a family. It's really nice to be part of it, part of the whole thing. And it's just, I have like a core group of people that watch my content and hang out in my stream, and you guys are the most important part of it, because if it wasn't for you guys, well, there wouldn't be 51 people in here, but I wouldn't have, it's you guys that motivate me, that, when I get down and out and I'm thinking, I have a really bad headache. I really don't know what I'm going to talk about today. And I got all this other stuff I need to do or whatever. And, I'm running late. I'm just not going to do this stream. But when I think about all of you guys, when I think about all of you in the chat that are maybe waiting or thinking about it, or knowing, oh, he's gonna be streaming, I'm gonna, I'll go to the grocery store after, this time, because JH is streaming, I want to check that or whatever. Like, you guys are the motivation and the reason why I keep going. Knowing that you guys are out there and want to watch the content, I'm like, I have a reason to be making this content. That fish, I'm thinking that the fish is going after fish. I think so. I don't know. He's definitely kind of like he's eating hikari, but they definitely, I do notice they'll chase the fry around. I've never seen them actually eat one, but I totally do see them kind of chase, especially the adolescent fry. They're not really small. It's like they already start to bully the other fry, like politically, like just like push each other around. If you want to hang out with the school, you're gonna get, you want to hang out with the cool kids, you're gonna get picked on by the cool kids. You know what I mean? Like, once the fry start trying to hang out with the school of fish, the adult school of fish, they definitely get picked on a little bit. If you guys actually see if you see a fish, an adult eat one of these fry, let me know, because this is all recorded and then go back and watch this. That's what's cool. This is like extended observation of my tank for me. I should actually pull it back real quick. How much time do we have left up in here? Oh, it's 7 o'clock. I got to get out of here. You guys, it's got me going on. Sharpie probably put out, once again, Ginger Graves, thank you for the $50 super chat. I also want to say thank you to Daryl Deemer for the $10 super chat. Thank you guys so much. I was going to pull the camera out and show more of that tank, but I should go ahead and get out of here probably. I don't know. Who's going on next? Candy Overhauls, how are you? It's good to see you up in here. I know you're probably busy. You got stuff going on. Probably family. Probably dinner. Probably dinner. You have a family. You have a life. Anyways, let's see. Pet Sonic, good to see you in here as well. Mike M, how are you? Good to see you as well. Appreciate all your likes and your comments on the content. Let's see. Dan Slee. Throw out the Instagram. That's a cool one. I love my Instagram. Instagram's fun. And I love it for like on the fly stuff. And that's why I want to figure out Patreon, a way that I can do like upload videos like I do to Instagram. But for my Patreon, there would be so much more content for my Patreon account, because it would just, it makes it easy. It's crazy to go and film, edit, upload to YouTube a video that 3 or 4 people, because I have about 3 or 4 people on my Instagram, Ginger Graves, William Jansen, some others that are in here that actually watch my Patreon stuff, but not a lot. So it's like a lot of work for, no offense to you guys, but it's a lot of work for 3 or 4 people. If it makes so much, it's just a lot of, it's time, real time. But if I can just like film some stuff or walk around my room with my phone and do a little vlog and give you guys a heads up of what's going on, share something special that not everybody else gets to see from my phone, it'd be awesome. So my Instagram is cool for that. That's what I do there. It's like I can go and, I'll be feeding my tanks and I see something really cool, something cute happening between some fish, or, a whole pile of yellow King Kongs. And I can just real quickly shoot a little 30-second shot of that, upload it to Instagram, throw a couple of filters on it, and it's good. Okay, I gotta wrap it up. I'm 3 minutes over. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. But who's next? If Aquafunk, I thought Aquafunk. So Aquafunk is going next. Aquafunk was moving to 8 o'clock, but that got that from Scott, from, or maybe I'm just not listening. Maybe I'm just my ear. I'm just I gotta clean my ears out. I don't know. I need to clean my eyes out is what I need to do. Anyways, well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I was kind of like hanging because I got a $50 super chat sitting up here, and I feel really weird. I don't know, maybe that's something that other people have started, but I feel so weird shutting down when I still have a $50 super chat, like working its way out up at the top of the screen. Now, if Aquafunk's going next, let's go ahead and go over that way. And if all of you that are still hanging out in here, I don't know how many people are still hanging out in here, but yeah, 30. Everybody's taking off to Aquafunk. Go ahead and run over there and do, I don't know, you do it if you want to. Hashtag JHRaid if you want to. Go over there, check out Aquafunk. And I'm going to go over there, check out Aquafunk's stream, say hi, and probably lurk and listen while I start to cook myself dinner. But thank you guys for everything. Thank you, Candy, which is probably gone already now. William Jansen, Ginger Graves, all of my moderators, all of my supporters, Dan Slee, Amber, my sweet, my love, my sweet fish keeping nerd, nerd, fish keeping girl. Anyways, I don't know what to say. I'm losing it. I got to get out of here. I'm going to start rambling goofy stuff now. All right, Jeremy, Morel, hope you're doing well. You take care. Thank you guys for everything. And remember, guys, keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.